Hello again, everybody. This is just a second part to one of the wood videos that I made earlier about the different types of wood. These are some of the different types of wood that I've got. I have more, but I'm not going to be able to pull all of them out. Some of them are in my basement, and others are buried in my little wood shelf over there. So I pulled out a few of them to show you the different types that are available. I guess since we're here, we'll start from this side. This is what curly maple would look like. You can see the tiger striping that's in there. Show it maybe something like this. It should show up. There it is. That should show up for you. And that's what curly maple looks like. Some of you that work with wood for some time or whatever pretty well are going to recognize a lot of these woods, but for the beginners out there who aren't aware of maybe what a lot of different woods look like, this will be kind of more of a video for them, or for people who've been in woodworking but just want to look at other woods that maybe they don't have access to, or whatever the case, you just feel like looking. So that's fine. This is what a piece of regular maple looks like. Very common stuff. This just has a paduk inlay into it, but this is what regular maple looks like here. It's a very common wood. You've probably seen it in several places. Cabinetry, kitchen counters, or not so much kitchen counters, but kitchen cabinets and stuff like that. The difference between the maple and the curly maple is the way the growth rings, the way the wood is cut. You can see this one is a little bit more of a traditional wood pattern with your cathedral lines there, whereas the curly maple, if you look, the angle is a little bit more pronounced as far as the growth rings, and that's how you get that kind of a wavy effect out of it. We got red oak here. I got white oak buried in there somewhere, but this is red oak. This is what it looks like. A lot of wood flooring and stuff, and even cabinets and stuff. Red oak is a very common building material as well. And then you start getting into a little bit of the exotic stuff like the paduk. It's got that orangey tinge to it there. That's what the end grain would look like. If I can get this into a light as much as possible here. Anyways, that's paduk, and purple heart is actually purple. The heartwood of it is purple. Get that purpley color. This is, if you've seen my other videos, you've seen me talk probably extensively about chatke-kok. It's also known as red heart. It's a really nice red color. Unfortunately, it doesn't stay that way. It kind of goes to more of this browny kind of a color after the oxygen has gotten to it for a while. So if you want to bring back that nice red color, you're going to need to do some sanding. You know what? This is annoying. I had an email. Somebody sent me, what is that chirping in the background? It's this thing. Miserable piece of junk. And I don't really notice it too much, but when I rewatched the video after somebody mentioned it, it was like, oh my god, it's really annoying in the background. So sorry about that. So I apologize for the annoyance. This here is spalted maple. Some of you know, some of you don't, that spalted maple is actually a fungus that gets into the wood and creates these nice little lines. But it's a very punky, soft wood. It's not something I could just throw on the lathe and start turning. It'll just literally shatter apart or fall apart or break apart. It's a very weak kind of a wood. You'd have to put something on it to stabilize it, to make it stronger. But it is a beautiful wood. It's a nice decorative wood and whatever. But these lines here are fungus lines, and that's why the maple gets that look to it. Some zebra wood up here. I got more zebra wood down there, but since we're right here, this is going to be for another project that I'm working on. I'm going to use this zebra wood, and that's just yellow poplar in there. There's the end grain of everything if you want to have a good close-up look of end grain. Some of you like looking at end grain, so there you go. That's the end grain of zebra wood. Not too much to see here of the poplar because it's kind of been sheared off in a way it's not too very clear. And then you got zebra wood again there. So I don't think there's much to see as far as end grain on other things here really. The red oak, if you look at it closely, you see these holes there. They act as straws really, and air can actually pass through. You read some articles or books or whatever, you get a short length of red oak, you blow in one side and you can see dust come out on the other. That's how porous red oak is. And it's not a good outdoor wood, pretty much for that reason, because moisture can get in there and it can rot, and it's not very good. White oak is much better for outdoor applications because it's a much more dense, stronger wood. This here is SIPO, S-I-P-O. This one is a figured piece. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'd recognize this. I've talked about this before. This here is white ebony. This is very, I couldn't write on it, as you can see. It's got this wax coating, this protective coating all around it, so it kind of looks a little muddy and hazy and stuff. So that's the nice marbling effect. Marbling, speaking of marbling, this is marble wood. And marble wood is another beautiful wood. Expensive too, not the easiest to get a hold of, but marble wood is really beautiful. And I don't know if I can find end grain anywhere around here. This kind of gets into end grain here a little bit. It's a very, looks like another porous type of a wood. We got cherry. Cherry is a common cabinetry kind of wood as well. Ash, you can tell ash by the pronounced tight lines, straight, pretty much straight grained. Rather, I don't know, common wood as well. African black wood is extremely dense and hard, and very, very nice wood to work with as far as turning and stuff. It's hard, it'll blunt your edges pretty quick. You got to keep your tools nice and sharp. Walnut, a very common woodworking wood. Walnut is just your kind of brownish kind of wood. It's walnut. Red cedar, you see this kind of stuff typically in your hardware stores and stuff. Your saunas are made of this, birdhouses, a lot of outdoor, sometimes you see outdoor fences made with this, and decking and stuff like that. It's pretty good outdoor wood, kind of as it ages goes a little silver in color. This is aromatic cedar. This is the difference. Well, if you want to see, this is a rough piece of cedar. This has not been planed or machined, whereas this has. So you kind of can see the difference here of what it would look like. You know, machined and planed, not machined and planed. It's pretty, well, how do you explain it? Rough looking, I guess, would be the word I'm looking for. But you get a lot of colors that can come out of this. You can get some purples and reds and cream colors that come out on aromatic cedar. I love aromatic cedar. Even after I've cut my wood pile, the third shelf from the top there, that's all aromatic cedar. When I just move a few boards around, they've been planed and machined and all that stuff, but just by moving some of those boards around, I can still smell the aromatic cedar, and that was done in 2009, and I still smell the oils just when I move the boards around. And it's not a very expensive wood. It's only like what, between $2 and $4 a board foot. So it's a really pretty cool wood that isn't very expensive. Douglas fir, kind of like in the pine-ish type of family, spruce pine family, very pronounced like ash. But the rings, the growth rings here, these lines, aren't so much of a brownish color like the ash. These are more of a reddish, orangey reddish kind of color, and very pronounced. Got mulberry. Let me see if I can flip this over. Mulberry is a nice wood to work, especially if you can get a hold of Japanese mulberry. If you ever look up Sashimono woodworking, that is some really, really cool stuff. The joinery and stuff in there, and the way they work their wood there, the Japanese Sashimono woodworking, it's really, really cool stuff if you get the chance to look it up. Palo Ferro, this is also known as like a type of rosewood. Pretty expensive stuff, along with red palm. Palm also comes in black palm. A few different types of palm wood, but this is what red palm looks like. And there's the end grain of the red palm. See if I can get in there. It's got like what looks like straws running right through it, dark straws. It's a nice wood. You have a great decorating effect. Sapele or Indonesian mahogany. It looks like a mahogany. I've got teak around here somewhere too, but it's just a small piece. There's the end grain, if you're interested in looking at end grain of mahogany. Actually, I made this out of teak. This is teak wood right over here. I'm going to try not to move the camera around. I know sometimes I'm pretty brutal getting everybody kind of motion sickness. But this is teak. That's teak wood right there. And I don't know how well you can see this. But yeah, that's teak. Genuine teak that I'm aware of anyways. When we come back here, this is holly. Holly is a very pale wood, used a lot in inlays and stuff like that. Nothing all too phenomenal about holly other than the price. If you leave it exposed to air, it will have blue streaks that can get into it. Yeah, it's a nice wood when you plane it and put it with a darker wood and stuff like that. It's expensive. It's like $20 a board foot or something like that. So I got lucky. I got that and a couple other pieces for nothing. They were checked and splitting. So they basically said I could have it, and I was not going to say no. It'll make for great inlay work or whatever. You know, I never say no to some free exotic wood. But I will say no to 2x4 pine and stuff like that. I don't need more of that. This is zebra wood, or zebrano, some people refer to it as. There's a nice chunk of it here. The end grain of zebra wood that I've already shown you on the other piece, but this will give you a bit wider look to it. But yeah, this is zebra wood, and obviously the stripes of a zebra, that's where it kind of gets its name from. It's a very hard wood to work. You need sharp tools, and also after you plane it and you sand it, if you rub it the wrong way, you will get splinters. Yeah, if I rub it this way, it's good. When I rub it this way, I feel it. I feel a very, very hairy, rough kind of surface. And if you're not careful, if you don't sand it, and I mean sand it, or plane it with extremely sharp tools, if you rub your hand on it the wrong way, you will actually hurt yourself. It'll be like rubbing the back of a porcupine or something. It really is a wood that you have to have sharp tools with in order to work it smooth. I made a shelf out of it, and I had to sand it right down to, what the heck was it, 1,500 grit to get it like nice and really slick. And then I filled it with blonde shellac, because it gets into these pores. You don't really see them unless I get in there close, but those holes, they're all these, where's my finger? All these little white marks here, these little dots or lines that you're seeing, that's fibers, and that you should fill that up before you wind up finishing it, just to give you that smoother surface. Tulip wood, Brazilian tulip wood, not that tulip wood poplar. This is that real pink stuff from, I believe it's Brazil. Really nice wood. I have a 12-pound log of this in my basement that I will not bring into my shop because my shop conditions are too dry right now because of the winter with all the heat. Red gum, you've heard me talk about red gum on other episodes and what I've done with excuse me, what I've done with it. It's a nice wood. I like that wood a lot. Bloodwood. Bloodwood is another very hard wood. You need sharp tools for it. This is a figured piece of bloodwood. Let me wipe that little bit of chalk off there. And that has a nice look to it too. That's like the sipo, the figured sipo, but this is bloodwood, and that's got a nice look to it too. Where are we here? Quartered sycamore. This is what quartered sycamore looks like. It has these kind of, I don't know, feathering look to it, I guess. Well, not really feathering, but all these little lines that go through it, that rough kind of texture. I made a candle holder out of this, so this is kind of why you're seeing the purple heart in there. I ran a couple of what looks like racing stripes, and then I had circular candles, and it was like 4 or 5 long or something like that. So that's a little tip for you for some scrap wood that you can do. Lignum vitae. This is not the genuine stuff from the Caribbean. This is Argentinian stuff here. This is the, I guess you call it a knockoff. Very, very, very dense and heavy wood. That is like, you know, extremely, not extremely heavy, but it's a very heavy wood anyways. You wouldn't want to drop this on your foot, that's for sure. And Imbuya. This is a very nice wood. I've talked about this on some of my other little episodes, shows, programs, whatever you want to call it, videos. A very nice wood. I really like this wood for the look. It's not your common everyday kind of wood. It's very luxurious looking, and I like the smell. The smell is a very nice smell. For reference, going over all the woods, I think I got everything. I'm pretty sure I talked about everything. For reference, if you get the chance to pick up a couple of books, these books are amazing to pick up. Now, they're not the cheapest, but they are really, let me get in there in case we got that tunneling effect like the other videos. I didn't even see it until I rewatched it. But these books here are really good. They tell you all these, sapele, that's the mahogany that we showed you. It talks about the scientific name, what family it's in, the other names for it. There it is, mahogany, sapele. It's in Africa. It tells you where it's from. It talks about the tree. It'll talk about the actual timber itself, how it's seasoned and how well it seasons, the cellular structure of it, how durable it is, how well it can be worked, its uses, supplies, a picture of it. Sometimes you see a picture of the tree or the leaves or whatever. You know, green heart. I got green heart in my basement. I got one of these in my basement. So, I mean, this is a wood that tells you about pretty much every wood I can pretty well think of, really. You know, snake wood, sweet birch, you know, pau ferro, pau amarello, it's all in there. That's the one book, and then there's a second book that they came out with to get to the other stuff here. It talks about not just, you know, the woods themselves, but, you know, different aspects of everything here, and the names, the scientific names, and all that fun stuff. And then we get into more of the other types of woods that are available out there. And it's a really great resource. You know, it really is a great resource. Like, it'll tell you, oh geez, like they go from woods from Hawaii to Australia and North America, everywhere. Like, I never even heard of this, whatever a sisu is. But yeah, I mean, great resource. If you get the chance, these are the names of it. A Guide to Useful Woods of the World. That's what it looks like. Who it was written by and edited by and all that fun stuff. You can get it from the International Wood Collectors Society. I used to be a member there, but I no longer am, unfortunately. But I don't know if I'll renew my membership or not. But the other book is called A Guide to More Useful Woods of the World. So if you get the chance, pick those up. Once again, like I always say at the end of my videos, hopefully I kind of helped you out with something. You take something away from all of this. I helped you out somehow. So yeah, you know, this is just a few of the different woods that I've got, and so just a few of what is available. If you have access, go to a great place to go to would be Exotic Woods. If you're in Canada or in Ontario or whatever, you can go to Burlington. There's another store in Cambridge. A&M Woods is another one. So you know, there's several other wood dealers throughout the United States as well. Off the top of my head, I don't know of any. But yeah, like I said, hopefully this kind of gives you an idea of something for another project that you want to work on, or if you're just interested in looking at other different woods or whatever. Hopefully this helped you out, and yeah, nothing much more I can say. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.